Are you divorced and wondering if you can still get Social Security from your ex? Here's the truth. Yes, you probably can. And no, they don't even have to know about it. This is one of the most misunderstood parts of Social Security. And so many divorced people, especially those approaching retirement, leave money on the table simply because they don't know the rules. In this video, we're going to break down the most common questions about divorced spousal benefits. Who's eligible, how much you can get, and what happens if you remarry, and how to actually apply. So the first question is, can you get benefits on your ex-spouse's record? Yes, you can claim Social Security benefits based on your ex-spouse's work history if you check a few key boxes. So you are eligible if you were married for at least 10 years, you've been divorced for at least 2 years, and your ex-spouse is eligible for Social Security. So they have to be at least 62 years old, and they don't have to be collecting yet. Now, I'll get into in a moment what it would allow you to do if they are collecting. So you also have to not have been remarried, and you have to be at least 62 years old. So in addition, your benefit has to be less than what you would get on your ex-spouse's benefit. So if you go to file Social Security and your benefit based on your own working history is more than your spousal benefit based on your ex's working history, then it's what's called deemed filing. And Social Security Administration will assume that you're filing for the higher benefit. So you'll just get your benefit. Sounds pretty reasonable, right? And here's the thing that shocks most people. So your ex doesn't even need to know that you're claiming their benefit. So Social Security will not notify them. It doesn't reduce their benefit, and it doesn't touch their check at all. So this is totally separate from whatever your ex is doing. Now, let me give you a real life example. So imagine this. You're 64 years old and your ex is 66 and hasn't filed for Social Security yet. You've been divorced for 5 years and you were married for 12 years previously, and you're currently single. So you qualify. You can claim up to 50% of their full retirement age benefit, something also known as their primary insurance amount, even if they haven't filed yet. So that's money that you're entitled to or may be entitled to, and it's just sitting there. So if their full retirement age benefit is $2,400 a month, you could receive $1,200. Now, there's a catch. If you file before full retirement age, you're going to get benefits reduced just as you would on your own benefits. And you're also subject to the earnings test. So even though it's an ex-spouse's spousal benefit, if you're still working, you will be subject to the earnings test, which means it's around $23,000 this year. So if you're making over $23,000, you are going to get benefits withheld $1 for every $2 over that $23,000 amount. So now let's go back to the question of, does it matter how long we've been divorced? When I talked about eligibility a second ago, I said you've been divorced for 2 years. So it does matter that you've been divorced for 2 years, because if you haven't been divorced for 2 years, at least 2 years, your ex-spouse must be receiving his Social Security. So if they're collecting Social Security, you can file right away. But if not, there's a 2-year wait requirement before you can file for their benefit or your spousal benefit if they're not currently collecting. So what if they get remarried? Good news, you're still eligible. Your ex can get remarried 5 times and it won't affect your ability to claim on their record. And no, your claim won't reduce their benefit or their new spouse's benefit either. Remember, if you do everything correctly, they're not even going to know that you're claiming on their benefit, and it's not going to reduce their check. Your check is totally separate. So they don't have to approve or be involved. Anyway, you don't need permission. There's no awkward phone calls where you say, hey, just letting you know I'm filing on your benefits on your record. Nope, none of that. Now, what if you got remarried? This is where it gets a little more complicated. So if you're currently remarried, you generally cannot receive divorce spousal benefits from your ex. And this is because Social Security is going to assume that you'll be eligible through your current spouse instead. But there's a couple key exceptions. So exception number one is you remarried after the age of 60 or 50 if you're disabled. So if you remarried after the age of 60 or 50 if you're disabled, and your ex-spouse passed away and you remarried after turning 60, you can still get divorced survivor benefits. So that's a big deal. Now, exception number 2 is that your current marriage ends. If your later marriage ends, whether by divorce, annulment, or death, you can become re-eligible to claim on your ex-spouse's record, as long as you still meet the usual rules. So let's make that real. All right, let's look at an example real quick. You were remarried to ex number 1 for 15 years. You divorced. Later, you got married again at age 55. You're still married today at 67. You can't collect spousal benefits from ex number 1. You're still married to someone else. But if your current marriage ends and you don't remarry again, you could become eligible to file on ex number 1's record again. So how do you apply? Applying is going to be much easier than you think. You just contact the Social Security Administration directly. You can call the 1-800 number on their website, or you can visit your local Social Security office. Now, you're going to have to bring a couple things with you. You want your dates of marriage and divorce, and your ex-spouse's Social Security number, or enough information for them to be able to look it up. They'll walk you through the rest. So just to recap everything, if you're divorced, over 62, and not currently remarried, you may be sitting on thousands of dollars a year you didn't even know you could claim. Don't assume you're not eligible. Go ahead and get the facts. So the best part is your ex-spouse doesn't need to be involved. Their check won't change. You're simply collecting on what you've earned through your marriage. I hope this video has been helpful. Please go ahead and subscribe below and hit the thumbs up, and be on the lookout for more videos from this channel. Thank you.